Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today we're going to be doing a full D5 clear and guide with one of the new characters added a couple days ago in the .8 beta patch, the Lich. In addition to the Lich, there were three other characters that were added: the Cyborg, the Glutton, and Jack. I do think Lich is an extremely strong character, but we're going to talk through all the strategies and mechanics so you can go ahead and clear D5 yourself and keep that character bar nice and yellow. Now, of the four characters, I do think this is one of the more powerful characters. I think this character is very, very, very strong. Ordinarily, when I make these guides, I try a lot of different strategies. I don't just upload the first playthrough that I do. Try all the weapons, try a few different ways, try to figure out what is the sort of best way, the easiest way to clear D5 on these characters. On the Lich is so strong that I truthfully have done a bunch of different runs and actually haven't lost once or even really come close to losing once. So I think this character is strong enough where you can kind of do a variety of different strategies and you'll be more than fine. So I do think you can be really flexible in how you play this character. But I'm going to show you kind of a fun way to play this character, just again because I think the Lich is so strong that you can do it kind of however you want. But this, I think, is just sort of a fun way that takes advantage of some of the Lich's mechanics while also being quite powerful if you can get it going. Of the four characters, I would say the Lich and the Cyborg are definitely the two powerful ones of the four new characters, while Glutton is kind of medium strength, and I would say Jack is actually a pretty challenging character, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So back to the Lich. The Lich has a couple key mechanics that I think are quite important. Most importantly, 10% lifesteal and 10% HP regen. On the downside, however, the Lich only gets 50% damage scaling, which is a pretty big penalty. That said, the key mechanic with the Lich is whenever you take whenever you heal, you deal damage equal to your life total to any enemy. So when you heal from regen, when you heal from lifesteal, you end up dealing damage equivalent to your health, which right now is 14, to a random enemy, which is a pretty powerful mechanic. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like absolutely broken or super overpowered, but it's a pretty strong mechanic. And it really behooves the Lich to get their health as high as they possibly can, so that random damage is quite powerful. I would say this character is a little bit like Lucky, which is a character of mine that I actually really do, a character that I really do enjoy, in the sense that you use a tertiary sort of damage effect to deal random damage to an enemy, and pretty consistently you can keep that strong enough where you end up one-shotting an enemy whenever you heal. But there are a few kind of unique ways that mechanic plays. The most important thing to know about that new mechanic, the damage when you heal, is it doesn't trigger unless you are actually hurt. So when you're at full health like I was, that regen doesn't do anything. But when I take a little damage here, you can see the healing sort of taking out random enemies and dealing some damage. That means that I think melee is a fun way to play this character, just because taking the damage isn't necessarily a bad thing, because when you're up close and personal, dealing a lot of damage, taking a lot of damage, you can end up getting a lot of benefit from that sort of healing effect. Again, we do need to be hurt in order for that damage on heal to be effective. But again, the Lich deals damage equal to their health whenever they heal, which again is fun. It's a good mechanic. The only downside is with that 50% damage penalty, you can't go kind of crazy with plus damage like you can do on Chunky with like alien eyes and have those eyes hit for like thousands of damage. So that is a little bit of a bummer, but again, I do think this character is pretty powerful. Like I said, I've done quite a few D5 runs and have not actually lost yet. I do think daggers is a fun way to play this character. Again, maybe not the best way. I think the best way, if you just want the easiest way, is probably just to go slings, and we'll talk a little bit more about why in just a second. But I think daggers are just a fun way to play this character for a few reasons, but one of them being that they play well with the Lich's mechanics, and I'll talk a little bit more about why when we get to the character sheet. You can see all damage modifications are reduced by 50%, and that's not fun. But you know what's not reduced by 50% is crit chance. So crit scales just as well on this character as it does on any other. So we're not really worried about that, percent damage scaling. So on characters with a damage to their pardon me, with a penalty to their damage modification, I really do kind of enjoy crit-based builds, just because you can say, you know what, I can't increase my damage, but I can increase my crit, and we can use that to scale our damage early. And I do think that's an effective strategy with this character. Because we're going crit, I do like to pick, you know, again, we've established we like crit, we've established we like melee, again, because it allows us to take a little more damage, ironically enough, to keep that sort of healing tertiary damage, you know, active. It makes me think daggers are a nice, fun, effective way to play this character, because daggers have the best crit modifier in the game, with the sort of knife having a really, really good 2.5 times crit modifier. So when you get a bunch of crit with a bunch of daggers, you really are able to deal significant damage. So I do like the crit quite a bit. Go ahead and take the baby elephant. And again, we don't really need more lifesteal, but with a sort of epic lifesteal, I'm happy to take that. And we'll go ahead and keep cranking our max health so we can deal good damage with that. Really, really happy to see a hunting trophy. Again, we are going a crit build. With our percent damage, I definitely like a little bit of armor. Again, tentacle, we're going crit. I like that quite a bit. We'll see a couple more items, but I think we're well on our way to having a successful run. You know, I start Thief Daggers just because I like to get the economy online a little early. But, you know, I think you can start just with regular knives as well. And I will sort of try to transition into a, you know, 3-3 dagger knife split, because I do think the knives are good, especially when you're trying to take down elites and stuff. Other thing about this character that's important to note is because, you know, you do need to be damaged, like so, in order to take advantage of that sort of damage on heal. I do think armor is pretty good on this character. Again, you're going to be up close and personal. You're going to be trying to keep in your health, you know, kind of at 75% by taking some damage, so you can kind of keep that sort of healing damage going around the map. I do think a little armor is good, just so you can sort of charge into enemies a little more fearlessly and not have to worry quite as much about, like, getting bursted down and dying. So you'll see me kind of prioritizing armor a little bit more highly on this character than I might on some of the others. But again, really happy to see that hunting trophy. I do think we're strong enough to take the bait, and I do want to get some melee damage, so an epic melee upgrade I'm happy to take, even if it is you know, only half that. Beanie, a little speed, we got the range to spare. I will take an adrenaline, again, just more sort of ways to heal. I don't think the medical turret is quite necessary. Again, let's keep raising our health. This damage here on the Lich does, you know, is based on your health, so I like to get that as high as possible. And again, really do like the mouse. I don't know if I want to take a second bait. Again, just looking around at the items here. Not opposed to a circular saw, that's not a bad item. And I will actually take that acid, even though we do have a little bit of dodge. Again, just because I really, really care about getting that max HP as high as possible. So you can see the bait is pretty, you know, spawn some enemies that are pretty difficult. That was one of the new items added in the beta patch, but I do think we have enough sort of healing where we can kind of throw them in the map pretty fearlessly. As a general rule of thumb, I do like the bait quite a bit, but it is you know, those guys that spawn from it are pretty difficult. So, you know, do take it as a quality item, but you know, just be aware that it can deal a lot of damage. But you can see here, just going crit, going daggers, trying to take a little damage where I can. You know, sometimes you almost don't even want to get too much dodge on this character, because too much dodge you know, makes it hard to take damage, which means you may not have a good time keeping your health low so you can deal damage. But this character really just becomes fun. You know, you're just charging in, you have so much regen that you can sort of take damage willy-nilly and heal it up super quick. Again, while this character I wouldn't say is the craziest offensive character, it is a pretty powerful character, just because of some of the, with all the insane healing this character has. So you can see, not even going harvesting, we only have 17, but an impressive 801 materials. And that's all these daggers just doing so much work. And again, I'll crank my HP, even at the expense of dodge, just because we want to keep the HP nice and high for all the damage we're going to be doing. So I'll go ahead and combine daggers to get a second knife, get our speed up a little bit. You know, I do think we're a little low there. And really happy to see an epic knife. So again, I really think the best split here. Again, we're not, you know, going to care too much if we don't have this exactly. But I do really like a 3-3 knife dagger split, simply because good mix of damage and sort of extra materials from the daggers. Well, the knives do pretty insane damage. You can see, look at that, 3.5 crit modifier as the knives upgrade. So that's the kind of neat thing about the knives, as well as crit, is, you know, the more the knife gets upgraded, the higher the crit modifier. And so again, we can use that crit modifier, which is not affected by the damage penalty, to really crank our damage. And deal some good damage to elites, etc. if you want, again, just the easiest way, I think, to win on this character, just go slings. And part of the reason is slings are just such a powerful weapon. Even with the nerf, the most recent patch, slings were nerfed where they do a lot less damage scaling. The damage scaling for range actually goes down as you upgrade them. They're still a pretty powerful weapon, but more importantly for the Lich, they actually have that really valuable primitive tag, giving you some bonus HP off the weapon tag. Makes it really, really easy to get your HP nice and high on the Lich. And obviously getting our HP high means our healing is going to hit enemies for a lot more and keep that super, super high. So again, if you want the easiest way just to clear a Lich, just go slings and just sort of stand around, make some basic choices, and you'll be okay. But I do think the dagger is a really fun way to play. Again, focusing on crit. But you can see between that hunting trophy and the daggers, we're just raking in the money. And again, really like that damage there, even if it's 50%. Because I do want to get that melee damage a little bit higher, so you know, our crits deal more damage. Sad Tomato, again, an item I don't really love, but in this particular character, starting damaged is actually not a bad thing, because we end up dealing more damage when we heal. Happy with the black belt, even at the expense of luck. I do like both these items quite a bit. Go ahead and take this first. Again, getting our crit chance up to 34. Crit's quite good, and obviously with the hunting trophy, we want as much crit as possible. But I actually really like the Sad Tomato on this character. That's an item I don't really like, actually, on most characters, but on this particular character, I am a huge fan of it. Again, just starting damage allows our sort of healing damage to get going immediately. We don't have to worry about, we don't have to worry about taking a little damage to get that going. So really happy to see that. But again, between the hunting trophy and the Sad Tomato, I think this run is off to a really powerful start, and I am confident we're going to go ahead and clear this relatively easily. But again, we'll keep exploring the mechanics, talking about how this works, and helping you have a good understanding so you can clear relatively easily yourself. Speed's a little low. I do like a little range. I think 39 is about the right amount of range on this character, you know, so you can sort of play a little safely, kind of duck around, and hit enemies without taking too much damage. But again, on this character, damage isn't necessarily a bad thing, so I'm just going to kind of try to run in, take a little damage, so you can see that healing sort of bopping around the map, dealing some damage. Nice thing is picking up fruits, crates, etc. Does a really good job at you know, helping hit those healing triggers. Again, another alloy, let's take it. I'm really happy to see that. And again, with the luck at 61, I'm just going to keep cranking our melee damage so our crits do more damage, even though there is quite a penalty. Because our attack speed's so low, I'm actually going to go ahead and take that over the HP regen. I will go ahead and take the Warrior's Helmet. Again, I think we could use a little bit more armor, although it does drop our speed quite a bit. And again, I may want to end up getting Dodge online. I haven't quite decided if we're just going to ignore it yet, so I will go ahead and skip the Acid. Again, even though we're at, you know, an okay amount of armor, really happy to see Sunglasses, get that crit, upgrade that Thief Dagger, and go ahead and crank our luck. Again, we have so much HP regen. You know, I'm not worried about it. Because we're going to be getting a lot of money from our crit, I'm going to go ahead and take the coupon. I think coupon's okay. I mean, it's not an item I necessarily love, but if you're going to be getting a lot of money, spending a lot of money, I think it'd be pretty good. But again, we just want to take a little bit of damage, you know. Get her a little bit, and you can see that sort of 62 popping off around the map. And even with the percent damage decrease, I will try to increase my damage just a little bit of that damage percentage, because that does affect the sort of Lich's healing trigger. That said, this character is never going to be super strong. I mean, daggers are just not super strong on these sort of horde waves without like insane attack speed, which we haven't had a chance to really build up yet. But I do think we'll be able to clear this relatively efficiently. Again, as we get that dagger crit up, you know, our daggers will start critting for several hundred, you know, without too much more time invested, and at which point we're going to do a really good job of, I think, killing the elites, even with that damage penalty, which is again why I kind of like going daggers, and again doing a nice knife dagger split, so you can really crank through elites while doing good damage and getting all that insane amounts of money from the thief daggers. But you can see, whew, look at that, 990 XP. That's quite strong. Obviously not going engineering. Don't really want more range. Looking for a better upgrade. I'm happy with speed. Want to get up to 20, 30 speed. So even though I will probably try to drop my range, happy to see wings. Rip and tear, you know, can sometimes be a you know, item with a, you may want to think about a little more with the on hit kill, simply because that can't trigger. But we'll go ahead and take it here. Happy to take metal plate. We got good luck, so I'll take a cyber ball. It may have been most efficient to take the piggy bank and kind of do that, but you know, we're going to go ahead and skip that just because I think we're far enough ahead. Improved Tools was buffed to have a flat 10% attack speed regardless of structures, so I'll go ahead and take that up just because I think we can benefit well from that. And this plastic explosive does make this rip and tear stronger, so I'll go ahead and take that. And again, happy to keep upgrading our our thief dagger. Saw a pair of scissors there, so we'll talk about, like, is that good on this character? Answer is kinda. I mean, I think that this character, starting with that lifesteal bonus, doesn't really need the extra ones from the from the scissors. So I think, while scissors are fun, I don't know if they're quite as effective as some other weapons. But another cool thing we're going to see here is, we take a little bit of damage when our health trigger kills an enemy sort of randomly around the map. They have a chance to explode, which can kill more enemies that explode. So again, the nice thing about Rip and Tear, even though it is sort of a non-bow, as the kids might say, with thief daggers, because it doesn't allow you to kill with the dagger for that crit, as it just really helps your AoE against sort of randomly exploding enemies around the map as you kill them with your healing sort of damage. So again, just a fun little interaction I think can be relatively powerful. And considering this character does struggle just a little bit when you're going knives, I should say knives struggle just a little bit with area damage, I do think it's a worthwhile sort of thing to pick up. But again, not super worried about harvesting with our hunting trophy, but I will take this. Again, we're going to be healing so much, and I think any item actually that hurts you on this character is really, really good. So whether it's blood donation or something else, an item that hurts you consistently is so good, because it helps keep your max HP low, so you can keep triggering healing, and again, keeping that damage really popping off around the map. With 91 luck, I do like a bag, even though it hurts our speed. And you can see we're just sailing at this point. Love a community support. Again, really helping us get that attack speed up. And even though it does hurt our crit, I will take this just to be a little bit more safe armor. I do like the banner, but again, I don't really want to get too much more range. Range on melee weapons is good to have a little bit more attack distance, so you can play a little safer. But I also don't want to get too much range and make our attack speed too slow. But you can see the amazing thing about that blood bag, and again, why I think it's one of the best items on this character is you can see as we take damage and as we heal, it just helps our healing damage just trigger consistently. So that's a really, really good item on this character. Even if we don't really need the harvesting, quite frankly, because we're getting so much money from our crits and our daggers, it's still just a really solid item to help consistently trigger that healing damage. So I do highly recommend that item if you are able to see it, just because it's so good. I mean, edge cases, like it makes it like impossible to get the liver going, because you're never going to be at full health to pick up a fruit. But I think that downside is definitely worth it. So if you do see that item, happily take it. Again, you're going to get so much healing from other sources that not only would be able to offset the damage, but deal with the biggest drawback of this character, which is the fact you cannot deal that healing damage when you're at full health, because healing does not trigger. Don't need the pencil, obviously. Not going engineering. Free lumberjack shirt, not really necessary, but we'll take it. And again, we'll take that melee damage, even though it is reduced, just to help keep our crit up. Happy with the gentle alien. Happy with the baby elephants as we got good luck. Do kind of want to drop our range a bit. Plus, that helps our max HP. So really happy to see that. I'll take a couple more of those if they come to the map. Would like to potentially upgrade our daggers a little more speed, reduce range. Happy with that. And again, what I want to say, like, we want to upgrade our daggers. You can see here this epic dagger, 4 times crit modifier, which is insanely strong. And you bet your bottom dollar I'm taking another community support. With the community support, we can happily take the steroids, reduce our attack speed. And again, not really the melee damage, but just keeping that max HP nice and high. Again, so I feel like this run's going pretty well. I think we'll go ahead and sail through it. That said, I will be safe and go ahead and kill the eggs, although it is possible we could just ignore it. Running into the boss still took a lot of damage, so again, we don't have quite enough armor just to completely ignore the enemy's mechanics yet, but I think soon enough we'll be powerful enough where we can just basically ignore everything and just hyper-focus down whatever we want. So again, we can see those daggers critting for quite a bit, giving us pretty darn effective melee damage, even though pretty darn effective damage on the bosses, even though we do have that 50% bonus penalty. So we took that elite out very easily. Again, that's why I like going crit on this character. Is it the absolute most efficient way? No, it's not better than slings, but it's a good way to help scale your damage. And again, I really like going crit on any of the potatoes that have sort of a reduced damage modifier, like Entrepreneur. So it can be a fun way to play. And also, I just like it. I mean, daggers are just fun when you get them going, running around, whacking for a lot of damage. So feeling pretty good about things. Again, watching our healing sort of spike around, getting a whopping almost 900 materials. We're not going to elemental, but like the wolf helmet when you're not engineering is just free luck, so not the best item, but I'm happy to take it. I don't really want to drop our melee damage, and again, we're not going engineering. Really like this though. Again, 6 damage, and because it's free, we'll take it. We do have a little elemental damage from that wolf head, and again, this time I will actually take the armor. I think being a little more defensive will be good, and I'll actually take the crit over the max HP. So really want another community support. That's just going to send our damage to the stratosphere. With 3 thief daggers, even though this is epic, I do think we want to focus on regular knives just to help our overall damage. More rituals. One of those we can get our life steal, which is a whopping 23, and we're getting so far ahead. Just keeping the gentle alien. You know, there's no real reason not to flood the enemies or flood the map with enemies. Again, with 48 range, really do like a little muscly dude to get that range, you know, back down to a more manageable 33, and also give us a little HP. Okay, we're about to pop off this next wave. Give me that gnome, give me that metal, and give me that bloody hand. One of that new items that was released in the beta patch. I do think the bloody hand is the best new legendary item in the game, and really happy to see it here. And I think it actually works really, really well with this character in particular. I would say it may be the best item with this character. Now, the advantage of that item will be a little bit ameliorated or sort of dampened by the fact that we already have the blood bag, but you sure as hell bet your bottom dollar I'm taking it. But again, you can see just going around, crushing enemies, getting good crits, dealing good damage. Really focus at this point on, you know, just doing what I can to play safe. I mean, this run is well in control, and we're just going to be stomping the rest of the map. So when I start to get this powerful this early, one thing I really just try to prioritize is like, how can I kill the bosses as quickly as possible? Because we're definitely going for a boss kill. So I'm going to be making choices that, again, really give our offense some overwhelming damage, just because I don't really think we need that much more defense, although I will be happy to take a little more armor. But you can see, taking some damage there because I'm sort of recklessly diving around, which I am sort of not afraid to do because we have so much healing. Again, this drops our range a little low. I mean, I do like 30 to 50, but again, for dodge and crit chance, I do like that. Our dodge is still negative, so I may want to get that positive and give me that non-crit chance. So we got some really fun items here. Look at this, bloody hand, 12% lifesteal, but 2% damage for every 1% lifesteal you have. You do take 1 damage per second, which will unfortunately be another non-bow with our blood bag. But again, taking the extra damage just means we can heal more, so I'm happy to see that. With all that crit we got from the upgrade, I'm happy to take a medal. And again, the gnome I'm really tempted to take, but I actually do not want to drop down to negative range, so I will pass on that, and I will go ahead and take the coin to get our dodge back online. Really happy to see another hunting trophy. That's just going to give us so much damage. And again, I do really want to get that crit as high as I can. You cannot get over 100% crit, but you can definitely get close. So you can see now we're taking 2 damage per second, which may seem like it's a bad thing. In a normal run, it definitely would be, but we're going to get so much healing that we're going to be able to sort of ameliorate that effect. Won't affect us that much. And again, the way I'll think of that, it's just more opportunities to heal. And again, with 90 damage, or sorry, 90 health, you can see, you know, we just hit for 136 there with our healing proc, and that actually caused an explosion, which again is going to help a lot in keeping the sort of waves clear. But again, at this point, really focused on getting those daggers upgraded, get our melee damage high, and just seeing how we can really bust this run open for a really sweet boss kill. We are just cruising though. I mean, again, just showing how if you can get one of those 2 items that does reduce your damage. Again, I think the bloody hand is probably better than the bag overall, but I mean, you get either one of those, just take a little damage, and you can see you're just going to be keeping that healing proc, constantly hitting the map, and you'll be just destroying the enemies. So feel pretty good about where we are. Don't really need more speed. I would take that for a power generator. I mean, at this point, why not take a gentle alien? It doesn't really doing anything. We have enough attack speed with the community armors. Maybe looking for a bit of a better melee damage buff there, but I'll go ahead and take that crit chance. So again, even with 2 waves left, I'll take the hunting trophy. We'll take the sunglasses. Weird Ghost is a little aggressive. And not to mention, do not take the Weird Ghost with with a blood bag or bloody hand, because you will just die as the wave starts. So obviously don't take that. We'll go ahead and take, we'll go ahead and combine the daggers, grab this knife. And again, attack speed, crit chance, and range. Go ahead and take that as well. Really happy to see a power generator. Again, we have 41 speed, so even, you know, at half effectiveness with the Lich's kit, I still think that's going to be quite good. And obviously a tentacle, which I believe we already have 2, again, just to give us more tertiary healing. So we are facing an elite here, so I think we'll be able to handle this elite relatively easily, again, with the community supports. I think we'll just drill this elite. Although we do want to be a little careful. I mean, we have great max HP, but our armor is a little low. So I do want to be sure that we're still dodging as well as we need to be. But you can see when we do attack that, we are doing really good damage. That said, I'm going to play a little safe just because we did go with an extremely aggressive build here. I do not want to die, which I think is definitely a possibility. So just play a little safe there and go back to just demolishing this elite. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know, this is, we have sort of made this character hyper aggressive. I will say, you know, if you're looking for more of a safe, more consistent build, do not take a blood bag and a bloody hand. I'm doing it because it's fun and it's, you know, got better top end. It does make you, you know, a little vulnerable So again, more offense at the expense of more consistent defense. But I think this run is just showing the power of this character. I'm actually just laughing at how much sort of tertiary damage is happening. Sure, more trees. Again, exoskeleton, the best sort of engineering item for non-engineering characters. 5 armor, 5 crit, 5 speed. Obviously, the engineering doesn't matter. After these spanks, the 2 lifesteal and 2 HP regen. We have so much of those. Who cares? Obviously, we don't want range damage. They recently buffed the plant wisely. 3 HP regen for 1 lifesteal. We'll go ahead and take that. We'll go ahead and take the max HP again. Help that sort of damage from the Lich's kit. Sure, more crit for the tentacle. You can see we're at 90, almost 100%. Quite happy to see that. And you know what? We'll take another tentacle. Why not? I do think a mouse at this point isn't really necessary. So our range is at 33. Give me a little muscly dude. Happy to see that. Too late in the game to buy a tractor. At this point, with 18 range, we'll go ahead and buy the banner and then the gnome next run for that really, really valuable plus 10 melee damage. With 12 armor and 2 dodge, we'll see if we can get just a little dodge going just to make us a little safer. But again, I think we will, again, absolutely demolish these bosses, especially with that gnome giving us a really, really valuable 10 melee damage. Which again, that's just only going to be 5 damage on this character because of the damage penalty, but that 5 melee damage, again, our daggers have, what was it, 4 times crit chance. That's, you know, still 20 more crit, which is good. And obviously with our plus 72 damage, ends up stacking up quite a bit. But again, you know, we're running into what I like to call the good problem with the community support, which is we're doing so much damage that there's not enough enemies spawning to really give us a lot of attack speed. But you'd rather be there than the opposite place. And I think, you know, we're going to demolish these bosses. You know, we're going to deal enough damage to them to take them out relatively quickly. And I think our sort of healing effect, you know, the damage is going to do a great job at sort of helping keep the map clear with that rip and tear. Again, causing random explosions to, you know, stop the enemies from being too overwhelming. You can see, look at this, 1,100 materials. And that's not even with any, like, real harvesting bonus. Again, just those hunting trophies. Just giving us so many materials. You know what? I think we could probably go with more fish build, but let's take this just to get to a perfect 102 crit chance. We will happily take that. And the alien eyes with 106 HP, they are very, very good. So we do want to see that. I'm not going to be that greedy and take a third item that damages us. Again, I think 18 range is just fine for what we're doing, so we'll pass on the bag. Ordinarily, don't love swapping off a melee, 2 melee damage with the Shmoop, but again, because that max HP helps us, I'm quite happy to see that. Magical Leaf, again, one of the best items on this character. We don't really need it at the end. You know, I'll go ahead and pass on this just because we're already capped at crit. Otherwise, I'd be happy to see that. We'll go ahead and be happy to upgrade the knife. The dynamite does affect rip and tear, as does the plastic explosives. But again, at this point, I don't think we really need that. Really happy to see handcuffs getting us 4 melee damage here at the end. Obviously, we don't really care about our max HP because we're done buying items. We'll do one more cursory reroll. We'll pass on these anyway. So again, I think we'll absolutely stomp the bosses in a really powerful run here. Ordinarily, I obviously kill this elite first. So we'll get to a point where you can see we're just really taking these guys out quickly. I do want to be a little careful. Again, you know, these bosses can burst you down. We don't have like enough armor where we're just going to be immune to the bosses, which, you know, I do like when we can get that rolling. So, you know, again, we are going to stomp these guys, but we're also a little frail enough where, you know, it's not going to be like a fall asleep run. So we'll just be a little careful there, although it's going to be well in hand. Here, you're going to see us just crushing both those bosses. And obviously the achievements reset when the beta, the patch comes out of beta. So you can see just an absolute slapper of a run here, going with knives. Again, that crit scales these knives and daggers without the damage modification penalty, which again I think is a fun way to play this character. You can see 317, 468, 741, some great materials from all these knives, and then let's see how much we got off these hunting trophies. 1592. So again, that's quite strong, and then 896 health from the tentacle. So again, I think this just shows how a dagger build on the Lich can be a lot of fun and kind of a cool way to clear D5, even though I think slings are probably the easiest. This is just a fun way to do it. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I am making some great Brotato videos for my own enjoyment, but if you could toss me a like and a subscription, I would really do appreciate it as I kind of get this channel off the ground, trying to do a little bit more of an analytical look at Brotato and how the mechanics work and how you can be an effective player and help improve. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.